Here are some very important people as we start today's coverage. The men's lightweight 8 about to go off. Lane 6, Purdue. Purdue won this race in 2000. Delaware won this race in 2009. Michigan in the middle. Mercyhurst, your defending champion in lane 3. Marietta College in lane 2. And St. Joe's the Hawks won this race in 1999 in lane 1. Jason.
Keith, we're seconds away from a start. All the boats are locked into those stake boats. It's going to be a great race. Lightweight 8, they all have to be 155 pounds. So this truly is a race of parity. All of these young men have lost weight. They were weighed in this morning, and we've got a race on our hands.
Now, Mercyhurst is the favored to win, and they're in lane 3. Up, here they go.
The green light's off.
A good start.
So, Jason, we know that this is a 2,000-meter race. This race, these races go just over a mile. Now, you can't win it at the start, but we know when you won gold in Athens in 2004, you guys had a blistering start. How important is the start of this race?
The start is very important, and our coach, Philadelphia native and Olympic medalist Mike Tatey, always used to say to us, you can't win the race at the start because it's 2,000 meters long, but you can certainly lose it, which is to say you can't go out too hard. You have to go out fast and furious, but then you have to get into your race rhythm.
This is an important part for the coxswain to also do their job correctly, to make sure that their rowers aren't keeping that stroke rating up way too high. The strategy of race execution is going to be very, very important for them to maintain a lead or get a lead throughout this race.
And Jason, as we get past the first 500 meters of the race,
the first quarter of the race,
what happens?
The stroke rhythm lengthens out, the rate comes down, so your RPMs aren't as high, and you get into a very aggressive swing rhythm, pushing the legs first, the hips go towards the bow, then the shoulders rock back to the stern, and you notice, Keith, that everyone's in perfect synchronicity. They have taken thousands upon thousands of strokes since they started rowing back in September.
And right now, Liz, at least, it looks like St. Joe's is looking pretty good.
They are looking good, Keith. And, you know, back home, for people that are just tuning in today, it may look easy, but we have to remember that we are looking at athletes that are racing at the top level of this sport. These are top collegiate athletes, and they have trained so hard to get to this level.
We're coming up on the historic Strawberry Mansion Bridge. This bridge is over 100 years old, and the Hawks are still in the lead.
There's a turn at this bridge.
Yeah, there's a slight turn, which is important for a coxswain to be able to nail that turn. Looks like St. Joe's might be slipping back just slightly to Mercyhurst.
And at the same time, it looks like Purdue is actually in a decent spot.
Yeah, the outside lane, lane 6.
As we look at the top of the screen, it looks like Purdue is in a decent spot. The Boilermakers are having a strong race thus far.
They are. It's still anyone's race. It's too early to call.
And for the benefit of the viewers and folks at home that have tuned in and all over the world on the internet, lane 6 is on the west side of the Schuylkill River. So they're out on the west side. They'll be coming up close to Peters Island as the race progresses. But boy, Purdue is moving on the field. They're doing a great job.
The University of Delaware in that lane 6 at the top of the screen.
Okay, I guess we had a lane change.
That's last-minute lane change.
Delaware is under the leadership of local business magnate Chuck Crawford, who owns more than 30 Arby's in the area. He also coaches at the collegiate level.
Looks like University of Delaware is actually leading.
Well ahead. Open water ahead of Mercyhurst, the defending champions. The Wolverines in from Ann Arbor. They're doing the best they can to stay in this race for a...
Delaware is still at least a boat length ahead.
The Blue Hens right now flying high. Now, with the Blue Hens in the lead, we've established that. Liz, as a former coxswain, what do you tell your team? What do you tell your rowers? How do they get back into this race, and how do they wrestle that momentum away from those Blue Hens?
Well, what you want to be thinking about is to not get too hung up on your position. Yes, you want to pass the Blue Hens, but you cannot overexert your rowers. Increasing the stroke rating is not necessarily going to make that boat go faster. So maybe they need to tell their rowers to actually lengthen their stroke, decrease the stroke rating, and get a longer, more steady, powerful stroke, getting those blades through the water and smoothing it up a bit.
So we're more than halfway through this race, Jason. At what point do you say, I'm going to kick it into high gear? Well, I'm about to take over.
Every team has a specific strategy to emphasize their strengths, but Mercyhurst's coach, Adrian Spracklin, has been in the sport many, many years. His dad is was the Olympic coach for the U.S. for many years. His dad is currently the Olympic champion coach for the Canadians, and Mercyhurst is moving. I don't think we've seen the last of them yet, Keith.
They are the defending champs for a reason, and yes, Mercyhurst is making a move.
Moving. See how horizontal their flowing is. They're bringing the oars with them together. They're pushing their bow out. Delaware is doing all they can to hang on. We're coming into the last 400 meters of the race, approaching Peters Island, and it is a dogfight between Mercyhurst and Chuck Crawford's Delaware crew.
They'll have to make some moves here if they want to take this race. They're really going to be squeaking it out for the gold here.
Well, also, we've got a race within a race, too, Liz. We've got a race for bronze. But right now, it is literally, ladies and gentlemen, stroke for stroke between Mercyhurst and Delaware.
Well, Delaware started strong, but they're really going to have to respond now to Mercyhurst, because Mercyhurst is answering to that call that Delaware put out there. They are flying down in lane 3 as they're approaching the last 250 meters of this race.
But here come the Hawks. The Hawks are really pressing the Mercyhurst Lakers. The Hawks are making a strong push the last 200 meters on their home course. But right now it's Mercyhurst. Can Delaware hold on for the silver?
Mercyhurst, the defending champions. Delaware, the champs in 2009. The Blue Hens won it back, but not badly enough, because Mercyhurst is stroking to victory.
They're calling some high stroke ratings here, last few strokes of the race, and it looks like it's going to be Mercyhurst.
Incredible. Mercyhurst laying low, and then they turned up the heat at the end.
So, guys, overall, Mercyhurst wanted to defend their title, and Mercyhurst got exactly what they wanted. What a first race
that was great.
In the book. Hang tight. Much more from the Aberdeen Dad Bell Regatta presented by Coca-Cola. Let's knuckle up, because we have more white knuckle finishes on the way. We are also pumped. Much more coming up.
The Philadelphia Challenge Gold Cup is presented by Aberdeen Asset Management, your global asset manager in Philadelphia.
Next up, the women's varsity lightweight 8 Division II race. And what a race we have on tap.